Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Toyota Maintenance YouTube channel. Here we have today at the shop 2000 Toyota Camry. She's running like a champ. She serves owner perfectly. Apparently I think it's like 196,000 miles on the odometer, but just recently the owner let her sit for 2 weeks. And then she won't start. 2 or 3 weeks. It was an overnight, took a while, 2 or 3 weeks, and it will not start. He needed to jump. And I'm telling you all these details on purpose because you might have experienced exactly the same situation. So after he got jumped, he drove it for a while that day, parked it again, came back in 2 days I believe, and it had the harder time to start, but it started, and since then it keeps starting because he's using it daily. So let's go take her in and see what we can do for this car. When we are doing it together, let's observe the startup. Will it hesitate again, or what will happen? Because you want to consider everything. Anytime you deal with these things, you want to listen and see. So he drove it locally, only a couple of miles here to my shop this morning. He said it started fine. Let's see if we agree with him. Yeah, that was a crisp start. If I heard that, I will not suspect any problems in operation, and I will say this is fine. Well, I'm just visually looking for any signs of maybe corrosion on the contacts. I have to lift this, correct? Everything is fantastic, including, you see the red residue, that's the spray which we spray for the customers to prevent the corrosion buildup. This is what I learned from the Toyota dealer where I worked in the past. They gave us not the protector only, also the cleaner, but there's nothing to clean. So you see that red residue, that's what we spray on it. We also spray these areas, so there's no corrosion on that. But this is perfectly done. Might have been me because I'm servicing this car for like last 1 year. Now I'm also visually, meaning I'm using my fingers and I'm trying to turn the contacts, making sure they are not loose. But again, you see there's no problem with the contacts and everything is tight. The battery has a strap here, so everything should be good to go. Now, visually, the last item. I'm searching for the sticker. And guess what? I see one, and it says 1220. It's December 2020. So this battery is not only 3 years old, and that gives me hope that when we will bring the tester, it will pass the test and it just needs a deep charge. I made a video about how you test your battery correctly. I believe I did it this year. I recommend you these 2 options. Of course, there are very many others, but this is what I use at my shop. This is a very quick method which puts the load for 5-7 seconds on the battery and you see where it stands. This is way more detailed method which gives you more detailed results. So let's go with this top down, which I really recommend that anybody could have. This owner is an older person, so I'm crossing my fingers they don't need new battery, considering the age and the fact that the batteries last approximately 5 years here in California. I'm hoping he will not need a new one. So black one is negative, so I will click it to the negative terminal. The red to the red, you can see it here. It will go to the red, and the moment I will connect it, we will have the screen on. This tool is powered by the battery. It doesn't have internal battery, doesn't need it. So it tells me 12.46 volts. So that's not much. But I'm not surprised if we had the problem with the start. So I just wanna look through the monitor for you so we can not have any glare. The glares are always nightmare. Okay, let's keep going. So I put OK. It's an English language, yeah. We are USA, so we speak English here. Select test in vehicle. Now in vehicle means that all these connectors are still connected. I didn't disconnect the battery for the detailed test, very precise one. I'm just wanna know where we are. So it's before charge. The vehicle came here and nobody did a deep charge on it. So it's before charge. If I will use this, it will be after charge, but it wasn't charged yet. A regular flooded, yes, this is regular battery. And now CC8, cold cranking amps. So I'm looking here on the battery and it's CA 690 or CCA 550. So we will go for 550. I wonder what I used last time. Oh, 550. I guess I was testing the same size battery last time. And now we will push simply OK. And it will give us a detailed test results. So, SOH, state of health, 75%. SOC, state of charge, 78%. It has 12.46 volts, which is a little bit low. But again, we know he drove it just barely a few miles, so the alternator couldn't fully recharge it. 510 amps out of 550, right? This is good. Internal resistance 6.26 milliohms, and the tester says, hey, it's a good battery, it just needs a charge, because state of charge is only 78%. We should top it off for him, and he should be good to go without purchasing a new one. Now I could go and hook the charger again to these connecting wires and start charging. But I believe that the best charge and best communication with charger is when you disconnect it and you go direct to the terminals of battery without those being hooked to the vehicle. So what I will do, I will park this car on the side somewhere here, so it's not blocking my shop, and we will start a deep charge for this battery, which can easily take 4, 6, 7 hours. But that's the way to top the battery off. If you consider the story, the way the customer talked to us, we know that the alternator is charging the battery. Otherwise, it will not improve itself, but I will go and check it anyway. I will put it on volts and just simply touch the negative and positive. And we want to see something over 14 volts, and it says 14.28, 30, 32, 27, 29. So we can see the alternator is working perfectly. I said that I believe the best results with charging and diagnostic anyway will be achieved with disconnecting the vehicle. So you start with the minus and then you remove the plus. So you start with the black and then you disconnect the red. As you can imagine, I own very many chargers. Let's go today in this video with this Topdon TB6000 Pro. So what do you do when it's still disconnected? You connect your terminals. I will reach there since I put here the table to show you. So nicely make sure it's in the good contact. So here I'm plugging it in. You can observe everything, how it goes. And we said it's a normal battery, 12 volt normal battery, the standard. So if I want to choose that charging system, I will quickly double tap this. So let's try if I know how to operate it. 1, 1. And it became steady and it will start charging. Okay, you see? So it says it's at 35%, but it will change probably rapidly. And it will show us what volts and amps it will be using. So it's pretty cool. Again, I hope you see it and there's no glare. So it confirmed it was at 12.5 volts, 12.6. It's starting coming up. There is a symbol for charging. The BT, it's looking for Bluetooth, but I never set it up for it. Here is the update after approximately 30 minutes of charging. So I promised to show you when it will be finished with 100% charge. So today, and it will vary depending how the battery was depleted. Today it, guys, took approximately 5 hours. You can see this charger keeps it at 0 amps charging at 13 volts. And we are ready to disconnect it. As we said, when you are connecting it, you go the other way, so you start with a plus. After that, you connect the minus. As we discuss, we always apply the protector. That's that red residue. It's just a little bit of it. Here, 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 here. So I hope many of you will find this video helpful. If you do, please give it a thumb up. And stay tuned, I have way more coming your way soon. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.